This that
Red Panda Anthem.
Ian, what's up?
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Red Panda, what's good?
Yeah.
So,
I think just another part of it is that the responses that they've been getting during this time, right? So the executives from Binance, when they ask questions, obviously with FTX being the headline for the crypto space right now, the answers aren't really that confident. And so most people know that Binance was an investor in FTX. They had over $2 billion invested, and they sold their stake. And then that's what prompted them to say, maybe we'll bail them out. And obviously they didn't. We saw what happened to FTX.
Yeah.
But what's starting to happen is people aren't believing in the space as much, and now you're seeing withdrawals. And so it was like, oh, it's 1.2 billion. Okay, that's not even a top 5 day for us at Binance. Then it's the same day, I believe it was last Wednesday, it's 4 billion. And then it's 6 billion the next day. And it's like,
adds up.
They started adding up, and it's like, can we withstand this type of momentum on the downside? And the answer has been, we're financially okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, companies that lose that type of money in a day, usually, there's something in the underlying documentation or underlying reports that is going to state to what's happening. And that's what we saw with FTX. It was like, we don't get to see it, right? We don't know what the financials look like. We just see that there's a lot of withdrawals happening. Can they continue that? I don't know. We'll see. It was down 15% in a day.
Let me do an exercise with you guys. Is Earn Your Leisure profitable?
Yes.
Notice Rashad or Troy didn't shake in their chair. And when they answered, your gut feeling told you, yeah, they're straight. They're good. Is Red Panda profitable? Yes. Am I profitable? Yes. Am I debt free? Yes. Certain times, like, we want to believe the hype of something. Like, we ever dated somebody and, like, we know that there was bad. Not you, Troy, because you married an amazing, great family. Me and Rashad trying to learn. Snow returned Rashad's call. Don't miss out on the king. Or who's next on the list? I don't know. Whomever, right? But a lot of times, like, we'll want to believe the lie because we want to be sold the dream. I would, and honestly, if Binance and these coins worked as well as they said, I would be all into them. I know people are like, yo, stick to stocks. And no, I trade one of the hardest markets in the world. I just don't see what the value proposition is. And then also, when you don't have any protection from the banks, the hedge funds, lobbyists, the global elite, if you will, what's the real value? And I think he could have done a better job after this FTX blow up of coming out and saying, here's what our revenue looks like. Here's what our weaknesses are. Here's what the threats are. Here's what we're going to do if there is a run on our bank. Here's what we're going to do to make sure that the value of the coin stays up. Here's what the 5-year or 4-year projection of our company looks like. A lot of it is gut. The number one thing I want to tell all Black investors who watch the show, even if you don't know every fundamental thing that me or Troy or Rashad or Trap will talk about, one thing that you do know growing up in our environments in the hood, your gut instinct. My favorite quote from Bootsy about Kanye, he like, yo, I'm a street dude. You can tell them that. You can't get that over on me. So even when I was talking to Loon this past week, I'm like, bro, why you rock with me? He like, even though you ain't from the streets, you're a real one. And every time I talk to you, everything that you say, I feel that you're being honest about. Sometimes, though, we end up finessing ourselves and wanting to believe a lie that is not true. The crypto space right now is like dating Koran back in the day. Sound like a good idea, and you may get some pleasure out of it for them first 3 weeks, but you're going to go through hell after. Shout out Eddie Winslow.
Shout out Eddie Winslow. Shout out Bill.
Yeah. I don't know if it was that super. Like, I don't want to find out, but...
Nah. They had the video. We'll talk about that. No, but that's after that.
I never saw that. Yeah.
Nah,
I never saw that.
Crazy.
It was Ned.
Nah. Super.
I would say this about Binance though. I think Binance can't be compared to FTX because Binance is a way bigger operation. Is apples and oranges really. It's comparing a tugboat to a cruise ship. So I don't think that Binance is going to collapse. And if Binance does collapse, then the whole entire crypto space is pretty much done at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that is a fair comparison to compare the two.
Okay.
and I'll give Binance the benefit of the doubt because we haven't seen anything as of yet that would raise red flags.
We didn't the FTX either, though.
We didn't,
which is the scary part. Yeah,
it's like a relationship, right?
Yeah. I can't project that on them.
You can't say somebody's cheating until you start to see, you gotta see some red flags first. You see some red flags first.
Gotcha.
Now you just if you just coming up.
But back to the gut though, the intuition.
Though.
But your intuition comes from some level of red flags, right? If I'm just saying
not always.
Yeah.
No. Sometimes you could just something's not right. You may not have
to feel the difference,
but you can feel it.
Ladies, can you feel it? Right. So when our schedules change up and the level of affection change,
that's something's happening. Something's happening.
Or you could just feel like
you coming home late. You're not answering your phone calls. These are red flags.
When you're in the presence of it, right? You could just feel like there's something that's off. There's something, and then you start to start really trying to feel like, yo, something has now changed. You start looking for those red flags.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. We'll get the CEO of Binance on here.
Yeah.
If anybody can connect the dots,
talk about it.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah, but Ian, to your point,
no, I'm serious.
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Let me just put this on.
Go ahead.
We have a big audience that actually watches.
Yeah.
So he actually had the cover of Forbes a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Billionaire. I believe he's from. I don't want to misquote this situation, but he's from China, I believe, or Hong Kong.
I think China.
Yeah.
If definitely would love to have a conversation with him because it's important and it's a pivotal time in crypto. So it's important to get in front of, because like you said, if people might have suspicions and they might not even be warranted. But if you're not speaking up publicly, then a snowball becomes an avalanche. So if you're listening, we would love to have you on the program and hear your thoughts about your company and the future of cryptocurrency as a whole.
Yeah.
107.71 is where I have the coin going to.
I was just going to say to your point, Ian, in the light of what's happened with FTX and obviously the role that they played in it, this would have been the opportune time. So if there was red flags, let me show you why we're different. Let me tell you how we're different. Let me put everything out here to show you why this is a real situation. What that was obviously fraud from everybody's perspective at this point. Let me show you why we're the number one exchange. Let me show you why this phone is legit. It would have been an opportune time rather than just saying we're financially fine.
Che Peng Zhao. He's actually a Canadian national, but he was born in China. So he's from Chinese descent.
Yeah.
A Canadian national. Che Peng Zhao. Hope I'm not mispronouncing his name. Too bad. But yeah, let's talk. Let's figure out. Let's figure that out immediately. Okay.
Yes, I'm learning.
So let's go to this next one. What are the 3 big mistakes investors can avoid from being scammed in 2023 during this recession?
Number 1, you have to listen to people that are financially free from investing. After I got that message yesterday, shout out to the Queen saying that she lost 300 grand. I was like, what made you listen to them and not me or somebody that it's like, they were marketing so well and they were so aggressive in approach. And ladies always say this, like anybody that's too aggressive with you in approach usually is not the best for you. Number 2, when I say do your own research, I want to define that. So I want you to watch at least 20 episodes of Market Mondays. I want you to go look at the earnings of the company for the last 5 years. And then after that, I want you to go talk to 10 family members or friends and ask if this is a good investment. During 2020 and part of 2021, everything was going up in value. And I said it, they are going to let people get money for this after the PPP thing. They're going to let people make money to offset the losses that are going to come for the next few years. We have to do a better job at also calling out those who don't know what they're talking about. Because I feel like all of a sudden they saw this show get hot and then it was like, well, my version of podcasting isn't working. So now I'm going to come here and try and do this and replicate, and we've even had conversations with people. And then the next week it's like, they got a financial literacy. I'm like, you don't know how to even open up your checking account. Like, How the hell you got an investing show? What?
Stranger things have happened.
You know, so and thirdly, I want us to stop being so hungry to flip for the short term and focus on the long term. And I know, man, that 5-year, 10-year-ish is not sexy, but any money that I made from Red Panda or investing year one, any money that they made from Earn Your Leisure year one is not the same bag as year 5. Look, listen, I keep saying it. They're glowing. Troy getting happier. He filled with joy. Rashad happier. I'm getting happier and learning grace. Things are good, man. I think we're too short-sighted. And often because we have deep debt, we want to get a big bag of money, but the same tool set that you have right now that caused you to get into debt or make financial mistakes, I don't care if you get 300,000, 400,000, you're going to blow through 400,000 in 3 or 4 months. And everyone's like, yo, not me. But will you study now 2, 3, 4 hours? And that's the bare minimum. Even with the Floyd clip, like people are talking about dedication and people in the comments like, oh, I don't take that much. I can do this in 4 hours a day. And I'm like, I love Tim Ferriss. I bought every book he's put out. Even Tim with all the VAs and creating that industry, he works way more than 4 hours per day or 4 hours a week. Focus on the long term. I want you guys to get rich. And this is the last thing I want to say. Sometimes you are committing fraud and finessing yourself by listening to some of these people. If people wouldn't be gullible, there would be no reason that a person can tell you that they can make you 1,000% in 1 year and you believe it when you can see that they don't have 1,000% return lifestyle for themselves. Impossible. So do your research, only listen, and you don't have to solely listen to me. But man, if you were to listen about the Facebook drop, the rise of TikTok, Apple going into healthcare, Amazon going into healthcare, Bitcoin going to 20 grand. What else was I screaming about in Vegas? You would have been the NFT market falling apart. You would, and on these and doing better when I say this, for those of you who know how to short these. If I say, hey, something is going to drop, short it. I remember even in Coinbase when we was in Miami with Terrence, and I was like, hey, Coinbase could be in some trouble. People's like, man, Ian don't know Rashad. Why the hell you keep doing the show with Ian, even though I brought the idea and say, hey, let's do a show.
Shorted.
Coinbase went down as a result. And if you are an exchange and crypto is going to save the world, why the hell can it save the brokerages that hold it? Be careful. Do your own research. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. And I'm going to ask you this. If listening to me would have made you 4x or 5x more, please put yes in chat. You get to keep all the money this year. 2023, we're going to change some rules, though. Go to ianinvest.com and join our group trading chat while the price is still low, because it will be going up in 2023.
This that Red Panda anthem.
Ian, what's up?
This that Red Panda anthem.
Red Panda, what's
This
good?
that Red Panda anthem.
Your
Whole
boy.
crew going up. I know they can't stand it.